Good afternoon, students. In this session, we are going to learn how to work with class and functional components in React.js. In the previous class, we have learned about what are components and what is JSX and how can we represent the JSX in React.js. Now, using the JSX, we are going to mention the class and functional components. Now, what are the functional components? These components are designed by using JavaScript, and every functional component is by default anonymous, like an anonymous function in Python. So the syntax is const f1 is equal to function of. This is a functional component. Now coming to class component. Class components are designed by ESX classes, and a component is defined as a JavaScript class which extends React.component. That is, every class in the class component must extend React.component to get the features of class component. So for example, class login extend React.components. Now what is important? In functional and class component, React requires that first letter of the component should be capitalized. If the first letter is not capitalized, React will not recognize as component. JSX will use the capitalization to tell the difference between a HTML tag and a component instance. If at all we are going to mention a small letter, it will be taken as an HTML tag only. If we mention the first letter as a capital letter, then only it will take it as a component instance. Hence, if the first letter of a name is capitalized, then JSX knows it's a component instance. Now, I quickly open my Visual Studio Code. So, in my Visual Studio Code, I am going to navigate to my index.js file. So, class component and functional component, both the programs are done in index.js file only. First, I am going to select the functional component. So, in my functional component, I am going to define a function called function myData, and I am going to return. So entire HTML code is written in return tag only. So here I am going to mention certain BG color and center color and welcome to functional components. Hi, this is below is the information about my channel. So a YouTube channel for the students. Here I have mentioned my YouTube channel link. Click here for the channel, and it has total 4 playlists, and also React.js, Python, machine learning, and R are some of the playlists. And finally, after closing the return tag and also after closing the function, I am going to create a variable called root, which is a predefined variable, so that the functional component output will be obtained. So React DOM.create root of document.element by id of root. And finally, I am going to render my data. Here, my data is my function name, and my function name starting letter is capital letter. Then only React.js will recognize it as a functional component. Now, I am going to save this one, and I am going to open my CMD, that is command prompt. Now I am going to make npm start. And once the server is started, you can clearly see that functional components output is displayed. So yes, the server is going to be started. Then once the server is loaded, the output is displayed along with a link of my YouTube channel. Yes, here you can clearly see that welcome to functional component. Hi, below is the information about my channel, a YouTube channel for the students. When I'm going to click this link, it will be navigated to my YouTube page. Since there is no internet here, it will be seen like this. So in this way, functional components will work. Now, what are class components? So here I am going to highlight the functional component, and I am going to de-highlight the class components. So let me de-highlight this one. Now, as I already mentioned, in the class component, every class of the class component must extend React.component only. In the class, I am going to write a function called render to return the HTML code, and in the return tag, return function, I am going to write welcome to class components and YouTube channel, etc. And I am going to here mention my Google Scholar link also. So here I have mentioned my YouTube channel link, and along with this, I am going to mention my Google Scholar link also. So whenever I am going to click my link, my Google Scholar link, it will display my Google Scholar ID. So in the meanwhile, I am going to connect to my internet so that the Google Scholar link also will be displayed here. So let me connect to my internet. Yes, here in the class component, I have mentioned the two tags, first and second. So this is a JSX. So what this first and second is going to be mentioned, this is also a class. So in the class, first I am going to extend the React components. In the first class also, I am going to write a HTML code which will be returned using render. So it consists of total 4 playlists and React.js, Python, machine learning, etc. etc. In the second class also, I mentioned my LinkedIn ID. So which consists of my LinkedIn data. Click here for my LinkedIn ID. Now here I am going to add these all to the render tag. So for this I am going to write like this. So here const is equal react dom dot create root of document dot get element by id of root, and finally render my info. Here info is my class name and first starting letter is capital letter, then only Django will recognize as a class component. Now I am going to save this one and I am going to again start my server. So let me terminate this one and I am going to again start my server. So npm start. When once the server is started, you can clearly see that class components output also. So here the server is started now. So this is the class components output. When I am going to click this one, it will open my YouTube channel. Yes, here you can clearly see that this is my YouTube channel. And coming to the next one, when I open this link, it will open my Google Scholar ID. So this is my Google Scholar ID. And finally, I have mentioned my LinkedIn ID also. Whenever I am going to log in, it will open my LinkedIn ID also. So in this way, I am going to make the sector of classes using class component. These are functional and class component in React.js. Thank you.